Everybody, my name is Altigamer33 and welcome to the Uncle Who Works for Nintendo. Anyway, we've all, like, so at some point or another, we've always had, like, that friend in high school, or not high school, like elementary or middle school, who says, like, their uncle works for, like, Nintendo or Sony or whatever, and I guess this is a game based off that. Someone told me this is a horror game, so I guess we're gonna be playing it for Spooky Ween, and if it's not a horror game, well, then I'll just... It's a red light for nothing, you know? So, you're 11 years old. What is your best friend's name? Oh no, this ended horrible. We're already off to a terrible start. That's close enough. Ryan. That sounds like a good name. Your best wait, I'll get my Morgan Freeman voice. Your best friend Ryan has invited you to a sleepover at his house this weekend. You've been friends since first grade, so asking your mom is basically only a formality. Did I break it? Okay, here we go. On Friday night, you're home only for a few hours, long enough to pack, get in a fight with your youngest sister, pack some more, and watch some TV. At 6 sharp, you're standing on the sidewalk outside Ryan's house while your mom idles in her car nearby. She leans out the window to you. You behave yourself, okay? She says. As always. I'll be at work, but if anything happens, you can call me. Oh, you know what? I think we should get some of that teen angst in there. Okay, Mom. I'll pick you up tomorrow at 3, she says, again as usual, but then pauses looking up at the sky, which has been overcast throughout the day. If you play outside, be careful. It's probably gonna rain. I don't want to kiss my mom. That involves emotions. I'm gonna go ahead and wave goodbye. After you part, your mom drives down the street, disappearing around the corner. You turn back to Ryan's house. The lights inside are glowing warmly. You can see Ryan waving at you from his bedroom on the 2nd floor. Head inside. Forward. It is 6 p.m. Cool. Hey, that's pretty good! Okay, here we go. Ryan Mom meets you inside and says hello. Dinner will be ready in just a few minutes, but you can drop your stuff off in the den. You and Ryan are camping out there tonight. Nod and go out to the den. The only thing scary here is loading times, am I right? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da! You drop your sleeping and overnight bags in the corner of the den. Pause to take a look around. Behind the couch, grandfather clock is ticking softly. Through a set of patio doors on the far side of the room, you can see the sky just as gray as it was when your mom left. Framed pictures line the walls in the dark of the fireplace. Hangs a monstrous pair of antlers from a buck that Ryan's dad shot years ago. And of course, there's the big screen TV! Sometimes it makes you uncomfortable how much nicer Ryan's house is than yours. Anyway, insecurities aside, you drop your sleeping and overnight bags in the corner of the den and then pause to take a look around. Behind the couch, Ryan entered the room while you weren't paying attention. Are you ready for dinner? Yeah! Dinner passes quickly. Tonight's meal is spaghetti and meatballs. One of Ryan's favorite meals, as his mother points out while helping on your plate. Ryan's father cracks a beer and... Wait, that wasn't beer at all. That's a glass of lemonade. Why would you even think that it was a beer? Ryan's father doesn't drink alcohol. Quite certain of that. In fact, now that you remember it. Well, whatever. Ryan's father sips a lemonade and jovially interrogates you about how much trouble you and Ryan are getting into at school. Dessert is heaping bowls of ice cream dribbled in chocolate sauce. You can't even finish yours. The grandfather clock in the den chimes. That's pretty scary. You go along now, says Ryan's mother, smiling from the side of the table. We'll clean up here. Let's go get the TV ready, says Ryan. The two of you leave the dining room and head upstairs. That's pretty scary. Ryan's room is immense. You stay in the den because the TV is larger there, but there's a sizable one here. Flush with the wall opposite of the full-size bed. We'll take the 64 down first, says Ryan, heading towards his TV and opening the entertainment center cabinet. It's his prerogative, of course. He gets to choose what you play first, usually. But as Ryan begins unhooking the cords of the N64 from the TV, you catch sight of the other things he has in there. Do you have drugs in there, Ryan? I told you to stop doing drugs. Ryan, seriously, kids, though, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. All the major stuff, an old SNES, a PlayStation, a Dreamcast, but some other things two things you don't really recognize. A large black box with green highlights, a smaller purple one, a strange white and yellow tower with what looks like gloves resting on hooks on either side. What? I can't figure out what either of those one is, but a smaller purple cube. That's obviously a game cube. What are those? Life is pain. Oh yeah, they're pretty cool. I can't show them to you though. They're still secret. I promised my uncle. Of course, you suddenly remember his uncle. The uncle who works for Nintendo. Oh! They said it. They finally said it. They said it, man. They said it. It's 7. In the corner, the grandfather clock is ticking softly. What happens if I click the grandfather clock? It's 7 p.m. Okay. You can see it's getting quite dark. Framed pictures line the wall. You walk idly in the permitted den, inspecting the pictures idly. Most of them are family portraits from years past, right? Incredible living, usually brother and father. Any one or two of them through your own. A happy, tidy family. You don't find any. Not one. The only pictures are of Ryan and his parents. You don't know why this makes you feel uneasy. Time passes. Are you playing Star Fox 64? That was a game, right? I honestly... The only thing I really know about the N64 is Mario Party 64, Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, freaking... See, I can't remember. Ryan is playing something on Nintendo 64. Think about Ryan's uncle. What happens if we think about his uncle more? It began with Mew. You didn't believe him at first when Ryan came to school one day and told you he finally got a Mew. Prove it, you said. He pulled out his Game Boy and showed you. There it was, Mew, the one of your favorite Pokemon, only available to players at the promotional events, how somehow unlocked in Ryan's game. It's really strong, he said. It kills every enemy in one hit. Ryan demonstrated his claim in recess when you and some other friends linked Game Boys to do battle. While you were the first one down, no one else got a single hit on Ryan's Mew. No one else. In a few days, everyone had to quit playing Pokemon at recess. The allure had faded. You asked Ryan how he managed to get it. Oh, my uncle got a job at Nintendo, said Ryan. You were walking home together past one of the construction crews. Ryan still lived next door to you at the time. At the time? There had been a storm not too long ago. Trees were all over town, building has collapsed. You were standing in an intersection with Ryan and his truck, one below, loaded by ragged tree shrubs. What a bad storm. At the time? Wait, this couldn't have been too long ago. When did Ryan move? There was something nice about being neighbors. Oh. Ow, why is my forehead itchy? He also got this new Game Boy, pulling it out of his pocket. You hadn't noticed earlier, but yes, Ryan had a sleek new Game Boy Color until today. He had one of the old ones, a big gray brick like yours. This one's special edition, isn't it cool? You agreed. You snap out of your reflections. What's going on? Is it 8 o'clock yet? It's 7:30. The clock chimes. You are in the den. In the corner, grandfather clock, framed pictures. Remember your own Mew? I'd rather not. I don't want to watch Ryan play. Playing Star Fox? Ryan decides you should play the next game alone. It's pretty boring. You're at a party having a conversation with a man in a business suit, and for some reason you can't move the camera up to see his mouth. He's always smiling. Tells you a story how some people mistake him for being someone else. Did you figure it out? Asked Ryan once the man in the game has apparently stood up and left the conversation. Figure what out? I guess not, before putting the choice game. You realize you've played for quite some time. Yeah, why is the clock always chiming? Scary, with the red lighting and the fact there's a lot of empty space in here. A lot of hiding spaces for demons to pop out of nowhere. Ryan's mother bustles into the room holding a large ceramic bowl filled with popcorn under her arm. "How are you kids doing?" she asks. "Good," says Ryan, his eyes not moving away from the television. "I hope you two are having fun. Here's some popcorn, extra butter." She places it on the floor by Ryan. Almost immediately, Ryan is shoveling popcorn into his mouth. Meanwhile, his mother smiles at him and then back at you. "There's some sodas in the kitchen if you get thirsty, and there's some pizza from the other night if you get hungry." "Thank you. I'm at least gonna respect her, you know. I'm in another person's house, you know. You gotta be respectful, you know." She looks at Ryan. "Your father's gone to bed. I'll be right soon. I'll be there soon myself. I want you two to keep quiet, alright?" "Yes, Mom." "Oh, and before I forget, your uncle called. He suddenly had some business here in town tomorrow, but he's driving early. He'll be here around midnight." For the first time, Ryan stops playing his game, stops eating popcorn, and turns to look at his mother. "Okay," he says. "I want you two to welcome him in. He'll be very tired and very hungry, so offer him something to eat before he goes to bed." "Okay, Mom. Good night, kids." And with that, she's gone. In the corner of the grandfather clock, there's a bowl of popcorn. What is even going on? You're playing the Mario Kart 64 now, aren't you? Are you playing as Toad? Ryan, listen. I hate you now. Ask about his uncle's visit. So why is your uncle coming? Ryan shrugs. "Business." "But I thought he worked for Nintendo." "He does. He's really important there." "Does Nintendo have a lot of business here?" "Why else would my uncle be coming?" He asked if you were asking the dumbest question in the world. "Well, it's cool if I'll finally get to meet him." "Yeah, I guess. I think you'll like him." So what sort of work does your uncle do?" "How should I know? I don't work for them." Right now he's not quite yelling, but if you think you keep pressing the subject, he might. "I'm not sure if I believe you about your uncle." Ryan takes a moment to respond as if he's not quite sure you heard him correctly. "What?" "I don't believe your uncle works for Nintendo!" Oh! This is gonna lead to some intense playground arguing, man! Seriously, this game is not scary. Probably should start off with this, you know? Anyway, you think you've finally done it. Ryan stands up, fist clenched to the side, mouth twisting horribly as he struggles to say something. And you involuntarily flinch. Ryan shakes his head as if remembering something. "Never mind, just never mind. You want to say something more, but he's already immersed in the video game. Take a breather." Hey, that was pretty good. Can I learn more about your uncle? You think the storm here, I don't like... Yeah, do you think the storm's going on? "You remember the storm?" asks Ryan. "Yeah," you say, nodding. "But no one remembers the storm," he says. "Could you please stop messing with me?" Ryan shakes his head. No, you don't understand. Please, I'm not messing with you, but this is important. But this is different. Something's different. He said no one would remember the storm." "Who?" "Oh, it's raining." He came out of the storm. I was home alone," Ryan begins, his eyes growing very distant. "Mom was at work. Dad was out at the bar." Alright, I'll go ahead and listen." I answered the door, and then the knocking started. He said he was lost and hungry. He said he could help me. All I had to do was promise to feed him. Is this where the spooks come in? I'm not really seeing any spooks. Bad expression. Feed me? Ryan intensifies. What is that? It's my uncle, Ryan says. Or that's what he told me to call him. I don't really know. I don't know what it is. You're kidding, right? No! Shouts Ryan, shaking his head. It's not a joke! It's not a trick! He changes things! He's already changed them! What did he change? So many things, says Ryan. I asked him to change so much, and I forget. Sometimes I forget how things were. I don't believe any of this. You don't have to. He's already on his way. I'm going home. No! Ryan says. You can't! He's already on his way! Bad expression. No. There it is. Like a voice. Not something you hear exactly, but still somewhere in the back of your head. Ryan heard it too. See? See? He's almost here. I'm calling my mom. This is getting too spooky. Passing through the empty dining room, you enter the kitchen, where a phone sits on the counter. Call Mom. You dial your mom's work number. She picks up after 3 rings. I want to go home. Really, honey? Please, Mom, please. Of course, I'll call the sitter. She'll probably be there in an hour. Now I really have to go. Return to the den and pack your things. Is there going to be some spookiness going on? You return to the den. Ryan is sitting silently as the floor as you come in. You're leaving, aren't you? He says. If this joke you're playing is really mean. I should have known it was different. You were remembering too much. Yeah, if your uncle's so powerful, why can't he just keep me here? He gets weak. He can't do much. Is that why things have been different? Is he weaker now? Yeah, I'm gonna just start packing my stuff. Please, says Rhines. Please don't go. I've never not fed him, and if I don't, I'm not sure what will happen. So you just want me to get eaten? Or whatever? Yeah. No, please, no, he replies. It's not. I think he'll kill me. Do you understand? He would have killed me if I didn't. I'm just going to continue packing in silence. Why could you hear him? But it doesn't seem like he expects you to answer. You both lapse on an awkward silence. Eventually a car honks outside. You get up to leave. Ryan has wandered over to the fireplace and looks into it, unlit depths as you walk to the door and into the night. The sitter's familiar car is parked out front. As you walk closer, you see your little sister in the back seat, still in her pajamas. The sitter, a high school girl who lives down the street from you, looks incredibly unhappy to be here, but you think you'll be able to hand her. As you climb in the car, as you go back to the house. The front door is closed. You suddenly can't remember if you did that yourself. The lights in the den are still burning. As the sitter pulls out away from the house, you stare out the window at Ryan's house. The light blurred, magnified by the rain streaming down the glass. Eventually it all slides out of view. You find out about the next afternoon. About the fire? It started in the den, say the papers. There was known to be a fireplace. Apparently it is left smoldering the night. There were no survivors. Arson is suspected since acceleration would have helped the flames overcome the night's heavy rain. But nothing definitive ever publicly released on this account. One day after school, you ride your bike by to check it out. It was Ryan's house! Plot twist! Was it? Was it Ryan's house? Oh. Oh, that's great. That's great. The page became unresponsive. I'll just go ahead and wait. Well, what's the worst that could happen, you know? Alright, you know what? I think the game is broken. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. The game broke. I don't know what to say. What I think I can say is, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. This skin was kind of spooky. A little spooky. But not that spooky, you know. Okay, so 5 seconds after I stopped recording, the game started working again. Parts of the house still stand, walls and beams blackened by the flames. Yellow caution tape has been looped around the outside and the rubble hasn't been totally cleared out of the city. You decide to investigate. On the second floor is either mostly burned away or fallen through, but standing in what used to be the den, you look up to the hole that would have been Ryan's room. The broken glass and charred drywall crunch beneath your feet, until you step into something that isn't glass. You look down. It's a Game Boy. It's a Game Boy Color, not all scuffed to damage. In the back, a single cartridge, a copy of Pokemon Blue. You take Ryan's Game Boy. Looking from side to side as if anyone might actually be watching, you pick up the Game Boy and flick on the power switch. After clicking through Pokemon intro screens, you find there's no save game on the card. It's like it's a brand new copy. Alright. Your mom is standing in the kitchen when you arrive doing dishes, and your little sister is watching some annoying cartoon. You remember to take a bath and get dressed before 7, Mom calls. Remember, you're fairly certain she never told you to do that in the first place. You walk into the kitchen, dropping your backpack on the linoleum floor. Yeah, sorry. Why do I need to do all that? Silly, she says. Your mom turns from the sink and smiles at her. Her throat tightens and you see how glassy and empty her eyes are. Don't you remember? Your uncle is coming over for dinner to celebrate his new job. Oh, that was a spook. Okay, so I want to explain something. The way I see it, this game isn't spooky in the traditional sense, but it's spooky in more of a psychological horror way. Like, in a way that makes you think. Like, because there are a lot of unanswered questions so far. But, overall, I'd like to say that game was pretty interesting. It's not exactly spooky or scary, but you know what? With Spookyween, horror is completely subjective. I know it seems incredibly ridiculous that I'm going off on a tangent about a game about the uncle who works for Nintendo, but in all honesty, this was an interesting game. At the very least, I can say it's interesting, and I hope I showed you guys something cool. So, anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode 1. I hope you all enjoy it, and I will see you all next time. This is the end, for real this time. So, thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.